on November 1st. I'm going to shave it off.
You're going to keep that thing till November 1st?
Yeah. I'm going
Was it
as
originally like when you're getting married or something like that?
Yeah, but it's kind of annoying, right? But now it's kind of annoying to have because it's just like literally it just gets in the way.
Why are you waiting till November 1st?
I'm gonna go as a Viking for Halloween.
Okay.
Oh, for Halloween.
Well, that's Halloween commitment to keep
That
a
is
beard
Halloween,
for
yeah.
that long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of curious to see how much longer I can get it in the next 8 months. So
Yeah, I couldn't do it.
yeah. Well, I mean, because you're not a man.
Oh, is that what it is? Is that what you are?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
I
I'm a
don't need a
man who
place-
looks under 84, is what you're saying.
Just barely.
I don't know. I don't think that's fair. I don't think I look 84. I definitely look like I'm going to prospect for gold.
History Defeats Itself is a comedy podcast. Kevin, John, and Greg are not experts, historians, or even all that smart.
Welcome to History Defeats Itself, a comedy podcast that looks at events or people from the past and wonders, why do we never learn from our history? Only one of us knows the topic, and the other two are in the dark, learning along with you. My name is Kevin, and I am joined by two people who give me all the love I need on a daily basis, John and Greg.
Oh.
Happy day after Valentine's,
I
gentlemen.
really thought you were going to say your wife and kid. Feels like you should have said your wife and kid.
No, they don't give me what you guys do.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
Did you guys
Happy
have good Valentine's days?
After
we didn't,
Valentine's.
We didn't do anything. I was working last night, and no. I mean, it's fine. It was fine.
So
it's all good.
super romantic.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. We're romantic every day, Greg. We don't need a Hallmark holiday to tell us.
Right. I don't need your corporate holiday to tell me that I love someone.
I was looking at some stuff online that showed like the people that were posting things about their significant others were the ones that were most either cheaters or like most desperate relationship status.
Yeah, like they're in trouble.
So good thing I ignored my wife the whole day and didn't
Yeah.
post anything about her on social media. Just to let her know that we're solid.
Well, Sheena doesn't care. Like she thinks it's sweet if I do something, but she doesn't really care. Like for Valentine's Day.
Yeah, Courtney's the same way.
Yeah.
It's a sham of a
I got
holiday.
Jen Flowers.
I got Jen Flowers.
I also got Jen Flowers.
Awkward.
This is weird.
You guys, they never showed up though from you guys.
Oh.
Did
Or,
you
well,
take
she
our
just-
flowers and say they were from you?
I did not.
You took
Not
each
do
of
that.
our small bouquets, made a big bouquet out of it, and we're like,
Here you go, honey. I found these out front.
I found these out front. Also, they're from me.
Yeah. Let me run upstairs real quick and write the card for this.
I have something to do real fast. Hang on a second.
I just cross out love Kevin with Greg. Not even love Greg.
Didn't notice
just
a thing.
Love just Greg.
Or
You
you're
cross
like,
it all
love,
out.
love Kevin, a.k.a. Greg. So
I call myself Kevin sometimes, just
Yeah.
for fun.
keep it spicy. Mix it up.
Whatever works, Greg. Whatever works. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok. We also post these episodes as video podcasts on YouTube. And be sure to sign up for our newsletter, The Mystorian. To sign up, head to www.historydefeatsitself.com. I don't know why I said www. I'm pretty sure you don't have to say that anymore.
Right.
It sounds
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. No.
Does
You
it
don't
sound
have
more
to do
official?
The www? I mean, yeah, you sound old. You date
sound
yourself.
old, yeah.
Yeah. You date yourself.
That's like when I say pot.
Yeah, pot does it. And you know another way to tell how old someone is if they say number sign or pound instead of hashtag. That's
Right.
a good sign.
Yeah.
That's a good sign. All right, John.
Yeah.
So tonight is part 2 of our cheating theme. So you're up, buddy. Let's hear it.
All right. Well, before we get started in my notes, and by notes, I mean, the things I copy and pasted off of the internet, have either one of you gents ever had a near-death experience? Or not even near-death. I want not in the sense that you were about to down a table, but were you like a tree fell and it missed you by an inch, that kind of thing. You ever had something where you almost died, but not really?
I had a really crazy one where, I brought this up before. I used to play in rock bands in Chicago, and we were unloading our gear like at like 2, 3 in the morning or something like that, and our rehearsal
Not
space
a
was
gear accident, man. That's fucking horrifying.
it was the place that we rehearsed was not in the best neighborhood because it's hard to find a big huge building with a bunch of rehearsal spaces in it. But at any rate, we were unloading our stuff, and I didn't know this. There was this big conversion van flying down the street, and I was like leaned into the car grabbing stuff, and I swear I got out of I pulled whatever I was grabbing out of the back seat, and I took a few steps back, and this guy plows in to the car, like just annihilates it. I had
wow.
glass in my hair. Like, I mean, it was like right in front of me that this happened. I was like in shock. It was so crazy. I mean, seriously, like 5-10 seconds earlier, and we're probably not doing this podcast. I mean, it would have,
or it's
it
a
would have been
completely
bad.
different topic.
It would have been bad.
It's a different kind of podcast.
Yeah,
It'd be called R.I.P. Kevin.
yeah, it'd be the R.I.P. Kevin podcast. I mean, it was freaky, man. It was really freaky.
All
So
right.
that's my experience with that.
Well, I'm glad you're alive.
yes,
Greg.
well, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
me
you.
too.
Just to edit, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you have a lovely smile.
Okay, well, thank you.
Yeah. Very nice.
He does.
Greggy.
Oh, me? Yeah. I once shit my pants at a Kohl's.
Yeah. No, I believe
like a
that's my
near-death
life you're thinking of again.
Oh,
This happens all the time.
That wasn't.
I don't.
That wasn't me. So one time I was using a table saw, my table saw, and I don't really have any safety guards on it. And I don't know if you know what a table saw is, but it's just basically a table with a saw blade that spins really fast, and you just crank that blade up. And I was cutting a piece of wood, and it got jammed in there, and it kicked back at me, and I kind of fell forward at the same time, and like I almost seriously, my head almost went right into the fucking saw blade.
That would have been a
And-
really gruesome one too.
Wow.
Oh yeah, I
Wow.
probably wouldn't have died, but I bet a little bit of brains would have gone.
You might have died. Depending
I
on
might
how
have
that went.
died.
Yeah.
I might have died, and you know what? I just fucking kept on going, man.
Or
I'm
maybe-
like, yeah, that didn't happen.
Maybe Skittles actually would have tasted like a rainbow to you, right?
yeah.
Because of the brain loss.
Because of the brain loss.
You think that's where
just be like-
the Skittles? Like I've got
Right.
most
You're
people
like,
have a frontal
tastes like-
a frontal lobe. I've got a Skittles lobe.
I'm just saying, like, you have like a piece of steel go into your brain and cut up some of your brain. It's gonna change shit, you know. So,
Oh yeah, for sure.
I mean, I'm not a doctor, so I shouldn't say it. Maybe it doesn't. I don't know.
God,
Maybe
it'd be
don't try
really
it at home.
cool.
I like
it'd be
that
really
you
cool
had to
from
qualify
what-
that you're not a doctor because no one knew that going into this.
Well, with this beard, you may think I traveled from the 1800s, where I was a doctor, but I didn't. Yeah.
I thought it'd be really cool if I just spoke with an Irish accent from then on.
After you got your brain injury.
Yeah, like it just affected my speech.
Like,
Sound like
or you
Bono.
just couldn't speak English anymore. You only spoke like I don't
Mandarin.
know, Mandarin. Yeah,
That's how you learn Mandarin quickly.
that's the only way to learn it quickly. Have you, John?
Well, I mean, since you ask, So I went
A little
to
leading,
go,
but yes.
I went to go pick up a friend of mine. I lived in this town called Tuscaloosa, and I went to go pick up a friend of mine that was like a couple hours away, and we were coming back, and it was raining really hard, and the car I was in started a hydroplane, and I was like coming down a hill, and it started a hydroplane, and then there was an 18-wheeler coming at me, and it started hydroplaning, and it was heading straight for me. Or I guess we were heading towards each other, but I don't think the driver was scared, right? Because he wasn't going to die. And I screamed, just screamed, because my buddy was asleep. I screamed. He woke up, was like, ah! And then we got hit with a gust of wind, and it literally, like, it missed us by maybe half an inch, and we, like, blew off the road,
Oh fuck!
which was also terrifying, but in a very different way.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
That's like divine intervention shit. How did you not become like a born again after that?
Oh, because I just know too many of them. You know, I'm like, even if God's real, I'd rather burn in hell for eternity than have to deal with those people only for like 80 years.
You know, God would probably understand that too.
I would think, I'm hoping. That's going to be my case. That's going to be my pitch, right?
I think it's a good pitch.
I'm hoping
I
that
might borrow
God
it.
does have a. I hope he does have a sensibility like ours.
Yeah.
That would be
He's gonna
ideal.
He's like, man,
That would be ideal.
humans are ridiculous. I
So
really
ridiculous.
fucked that up.
How
Yeah.
stupid is it that they believe in me? Fucking idiots. You guys want a beer?
All right. So if you
What was the whole thing with the Chick-fil-A deal? Like, why were they so into me?
Yeah, what's the Hobby Lobby guy think he's doing?
why do people who love good chicken and crafts, why are they so prejudiced? It's just such an odd thing to be both
They
of
don't
those
like
things.
gay
Good
marriage.
chicken and crap.
You guys have no idea how close I came to scrapping that whole genitalia thing anyway.
It's about to be a bunch of Barbies and Kens walking around.
That sounds
All right.
frustrating.
So
Could you imagine if every woman, if
sounds frustrating.
if every person on the planet was super hot like Barbie and Ken, and you just can't fuck them?
You think Barbie and Ken are hot, huh?
Well,
Yes, you know what? I'm going to back you up here, Greg. Yes, Kevin.
Forget it.
They're very attractive dolls.
they don't have buttholes or penises.
I think I've seen Toy
or
Story
vaginas.
way too many times to not think that's creepy.
Also, like I think they said like if a Barbie was proportionate to like an adult human, she would be like really fucked up looking.
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
super long fucking
Well, I think
shins.
I think her back would constantly be breaking from the weight of her breasts.
Yeah, and,
Right, because-
and the zero waist.
Yeah, and the
or
zero
minus
waist,
5
yeah.
waist.
Yeah.
Lack of nipples. That's gonna fuck her up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And really coarse, weird hair. You know, Barbie.
Plus,
would-
she probably couldn't hear anything because I don't think she has any ear holes, and she couldn't sneeze because she doesn't have any nostrils.
Yeah,
lots
there's a
of
lot of
problems.
issues here.
Yeah,
So glad we went
but
down that
she does have
rabbit hole.
she does have a cool ride.
She does have and a sweet house.
yeah.
And it's
Some
you
would
can-
say it's a dream house.
Is it a Corvette that she drives? Oh,
Yeah.
That's one of the things, right?
Yeah.
I
It's a
think
pink
so.
one.
Yeah, because my sister had that. I remember my sister having the red Corvette growing up, or pink Corvette, or whatever.
Yeah, I think it was pink.
Yeah.
Pink Corvette. All right, so our second episode in the theme of cheating is cheating death. Dun dun dun.
Okay.
Damn.
Okay. Okay.
And so it's going to kind of be a two-parter. It's going to last about 13 hours. So we're going to really get into cheating death. No, I just kind of want to talk about, basically I'm going to talk about kind of the history of human beings trying to cheat death. And then like an example of someone who, actually a group of people who actually cheated death. Not to mention the lady we recently talked about in one of the podcasts who fell out of the plane. I feel like she cheated death.
I feel like she definitely cheated death.
Yeah, she did. So the fountain of youth, right? Human beings have been trying to figure out how to be immortal, probably since the time we stood up and, I don't know, started talking to each
That
other.
sounds awful.
It does.
I don't
right?
want any part of that bullshit.
Well, it depends. Like if I could be immortal and not be able to get hurt or break a bone, like not feel pain, right? And in other words, like I guess if I was like Superman and immortal,
What about
that'd be cool.
emotional pain?
Shut up, Kevin.
I'm just saying. If you want to talk about this legitimately,
What
I
if
mean,
you could be immortal but you like sleep at 20 hours a day? That'd be pretty bitchin'.
I would take that. I would take that deal. Yeah.
Why say you got to really crush those 4 hours? Huh?
Well, you can do whatever you want, but like if you're immortal, you could pretty much get away with anything you want to do. Any bad habit, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So,
Smoke
John, you're
crack?
hoping that you don't feel any pain or get have any problems in life or anything like that.
Well, I mean, I would have problems in life. I think that the biggest problem would be watching the people you love die over. Which I mean, it's part of being human is you're gonna like. It's guaranteed that the people you love are going to die, or you're going to die. Or the people that love you are going to watch you die, right? Like
I think
somebody's
you're just
dying.
going to have to
Maybe
consider
not
them to be
watch
like
you die. I mean, I think it depends. Like,
Oh, I'm going to watch both of you die, and I know
Jesus.
exactly the
It's got
time, place,
dark.
and how it's going to happen.
what happens
just-
if you? What
you
happens
just
if?
think Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say you just think about people that you love like pets. That's going to like a dog.
Yeah.
You got to get 6-8 years.
That gets
maybe
sad
more.
too.
Yeah.
What happens?
Yeah, I
what
mean,
happens if you
you'll
get
get sad, but-
arrested and you get life in prison? You'll be there forever.
Well, no, but life would be usually life's usually about 100-year sentence.
Well,
So
no, I think it would be until you die.
Well, think about it this way. What if you get the death penalty and they can't kill you?
I wonder
Which
how
is why
long
I
they
don't-
would try.
which is why I don't want to feel pain. right? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that would suck if you felt pain and you got the death
Yeah.
penalty.
Right? Because they would keep trying to kill you.
Mm-hmm.
So, or like if you got shot, and you break all your ribs with a bullet going in, and it's hot and it burns, and it sucks.
Yeah, and then do you have to go through the normal healing process, or is it different? Like if you get shot, is it like a Wolverine thing or whatever, where it just heals up, and then everyone around is like, whoa, or is it like you have to like heal?
My version of immortality is I'm Superman, so the bullet just bounces off me.
Okay, what about kryptonite then? How do you handle that?
It's more of a nuisance.
Yeah, well, here's the thing, right? Like, first of all, I'm from Krypton. I mean, so if we're going with it, let's go with it. I'm from Krypton. I'm not telling anybody about it.
Yeah, that's
Right?
probably a
I'm not
good
gonna
move.
tell anyone that exists.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to deal with that shit.
Yeah.
Right? And if it shows up on Earth, I'm going to pay somebody to destroy it. I won't tell
I'm
them
gonna
why.
I'm gonna get you a kryptonite pair of underwear.
It's erectile dysfunction for Superman. So the Fountain of Youth is a mythical spring which allegedly restores the youth of anyone who drinks or bathes in its waters. And throughout history, it was believed, people believed it was lakes, rivers, streams. Like people would hear about these different bodies of water, and it started. It goes all the way back to like the 5th century BC in books, and then it kind of was interesting. Like the Fountain of Youth, the idea of a Fountain of Youth, it was kind of big, or very popular idea in that was like 2,500 years ago, and then it kind of went away. And then in the 15th century, the 16th century, it started up again. And when the Spanish and English and everything were coming over to the United States. Oh well, it wasn't the United States at the time, was it? The new land. Yeah. It was there was like all these stories of how like in Florida there was this, or in the Caribbean there was like this stream, or there was this hot spring, and so.
Damn, I'm trying to go back to my elementary school history. What was the dude's name who was famous for
Ponce de Leon.
Ponce de Leon?
Yes, Ponce de Leon.
Ponce de Leon.
He was looking for it in Bimini. There was some place in the Caribbean called Bimini, and that's where he thought it was. And unfortunately he did not find it. He did not find it. He was the governor of Puerto Rico, and then he left Puerto Rico and went to the Caribbean islands in search of it, and he died. So he died looking for it.
He found the Fountain of Death.
Damn it! That's
Well,
the opposite of what I was looking for.
And that's what's really funny is like I was doing this is a lot of these like elixirs and things over time where people were trying to be immortal. Most of the time it just ended up killing them. So one was so here are 7 ways that human beings have tried throughout history to have immortality, and this is from Gizmodo.com in an article written by Lauren Davis and Diana Biller. That may be a typo. It may be Miller. Miller, if you're out there, I apologize.
She's out there just like, son of a bitch.
She's like,
I had one chance to be famous.
All right, so the first one is self-mummifying monks. So these are monks that actually mummify themselves while they're alive.
So they suffocated?
So here's what
They
they
just
do.
wrap toilet paper around themselves.
Yep, that's because everyone knows that's how you make a mummy.
How much toilet paper you got to wrap around yourself before you suffocate, I wonder?
Well, are we talking double rolls or are we talking single rolls?
You mean ply? We talking ply here?
No, because now it's not just
Is it quilted?
It's
that's a good
quilted.
question.
Yeah, it's double ply quilted, absolutely.
Okay.
And it's got a little bit of lotion in it, so you don't want to get chafed.
That sounds marvelous.
So a handful of monks, mostly practitioners of the
A
Shingon.
handful of monks. Is that what you call them? Like a group of monks is called a handful of monks? Like a group of crows is called a murder? Yeah.
It's a handful of
A handful of monks.
It's minks. If it's a group of them, it's minks, not monks. What? Yeah. So, most of them from the Shingon Buddhism tradition have turned the nightmarish practice of self-mummification in order to prevent their bodies from decaying. To self-mummify, begin by starving yourself, drinking a resin-like substance, and then voluntarily entering a burial chamber.
Okay.
Right? And so
Sounds sounds not very good for longevity.
And so,
Doesn't
according
everything
to
that they do start with starving themselves too? It's like that's always
Well,
the
yeah.
first step for a monk, and anything they're gonna do that's
Well,
crazy.
First thing you do is you shut your fucking mouth. As a monk, you take some stuff. You're like, I'm not talking anymore.
That's true.
And then I'm going to do really bad shit to myself. So according to some traditions, the monk isn't treated as dead. Instead, the monk is viewed as existing in a deep meditation trance. Some believe that the monks who entered this state would be called upon in billions of years when humanity would need them and their bodies intact. So,
Yeah, but by then we're gonna be like bionic, so they'd be like, I'm ready to. Oh Jesus, I'm gonna get my ass kicked with all
we're
these.
just our meds are just we're gonna be like a fucking world of super people.
Yeah.
right? Yeah. Not even
Or-
it's just
Or just rubble.
yeah, probably that one.
Probably that. Yeah.
Probably
We're
that
gonna be
one.
rubble people.
Yeah.
Like Barney Rubble.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll all be a bunch of Barney Rubbles.
So the second one, or so this is called the Bolshevik blood transfusion pioneer.
This has gotta be a good idea.
Yeah,
That is John's band name.
It is. How did you know? I didn't even. I really love how in tune we are with each other, Greg.
I'm a super fan.
Yeah.
President of the fan club.
It's ska covered in bluegrass. That's what I play all ska, but with bluegrass instruments.
Does not sound good.
It's a niche.
It sounds terrible.
It's a niche
It's a
market.
niche. Yeah.
It's definitely a niche.
Alexander Bogdan. Oh, fuck it. Some guy named Alexander was a major player among the Bolsheviks, but Vladimir Lenin had him expelled from the party after the two men had a falling out. He also believed that blood transfusions were the key to rejuvenation and perhaps eternal youth. Bogdanov performed a number of blood exchanges and reported improved health after each one, until the last one, that is. He exchanged blood with a student who was suffering from malaria and died shortly later. The student, for the record, survived the procedure.
Oh, oops.
So- Well, no, it was also they weren't actually sure. He may have died from malaria, or he may have died from the fact that it was two different blood types.
Was he vaccinated?
He was.
Yeah,
But only for smallpox. So.
Oh.
Right.
So the vid got him.
Yep.
The Rona.
And by vid, you mean malaria.
Well, that wasn't a good idea.
No.
So so each time he was saying that he felt better each
Yeah,
transfusion.
So he did it a couple of times, and most likely the people he was getting blood transfusion, the people he was taking blood from and putting in his body were the same blood type as him.
So they didn't know about types then.
No. This would have been, because if he was Lenin, that would have been what, the 20s, probably 1910, 1920, something like that. Because when the Bolshevik revolution was at the end of the 19th.
Bolshevik
beginning of the 20th.
resolution.
Yeah. Yeah,
They figured it out.
they did.
The resolution not to do blood transfusions.
We're going to
anymore?
kill all the czars. You know what? Let's not do that. Let's just resolve this without violence. And that's the story of Russia. That's,
Now they're a peaceful nation.
yep.
Obviously. No problems there.
Nope.
Were they? And they're great of turning over. The transition of power is fantastic at that
Yeah.
country. Yeah. Every 4 years.
Fair,
So-
fair and just elections.
Yep. And very tolerant of protest. Yeah. And anything anti-government.
The media.
The many poisoned emperors of China. Elixirs of life, potions and pills that could supposedly extend life or even make the person who consumed them immortal feature prominently in the history of Imperial China. In at least a handful of cases, these elixirs actually made the consumer's life much, much, much shorter.
As in they killed them.
Within weeks. So, Qin Shi Huang, first emperor of the Qin dynasty, died at age 39, likely from consuming mercury, which he thought would make him immortal. He even took the substance with him to the grave. It is believed that a moat of mercury encircles his tomb. And this is greatly
Moat of
complicated. But this is greatly complicated plans to excavate his tomb because they're worried that there's just a whole bunch of fucking mercury in there.
Well, you know what? That was smart on his part.
Yeah.
I don't think we should be, digging up tombs. Like, I mean, just let these people be buried.
Die. I know. Let them
Let them
die
be.
and
Let
dead.
them be. Don't. I mean, I don't believe in ghosts and stuff, but that can't be good.
No, it sounds like he thought that the mercury was going to act as kind of a protective barrier on his health as well as his.
Well, it did
tomb,
keep people
so-
from robbing his grave, apparently.
Yeah, it did.
And so when in 1 billion years, when all those monks come back, they can dig him up and bring him back to life with their magic powers.
Yep.
So who will be laughing then, Greg? Not you. You'll be dead.
You don't know what I'm going to do when I'm dead. I may have a really good dead sense of humor.
It's true.
He may cover himself with mercury or whatever, and then he'll be fine. Moat of mercury.
I'm going to cover myself in Uranus instead.
My anus or whose anus?
Uranus.
Or the planet.
Since we're talking about planets, I just
Isn't
made,
it
like, a
Uranus?
planet. Well, it doesn't sound as fun.
No,
Yeah.
I think it was definitely Uranus when I was a kid, and they changed
Yeah.
it to Uranus, and that's probably for the best.
Now it's just like urine on us.
Urine on us?
Urine on us.
Yeah.
Uranus. Uranus. You're
It's
in
just
us.
a dirty planet.
You're inside of us.
It's just
So-
a sex-fueled planet right there. All sorts of weird kinks.
Which is why we're going to blow it up. So
Oh, we're
on
blowing
the-
everything else up.
on the SSS Chick-fil-A. So can't, yeah. Henry II had a gold drinking mistress. So, although Henry II of France was married to Catherine de' Medici, his closest companion during his life was the widow Diane de Poitiers. It probably didn't hurt that Diane was known for her incredibly youthful beauty, just like Greg, which she maintained well into her life. It also makes sense that a woman famous for her youthful appearance would go to great lengths to preserve it. In Diane's case, this meant drinking a concoction made of gold chloride and diethyl ether, which apothecaries claimed would prevent aging. Sadly, this substance slowly killed Diane, who perished at age 66. Recent studies of Diane's hair show evidence of chronic gold poisoning, which I didn't know you could get poisoned by gold. So that's
I mean, if you
cool.
ingest it, I guess that kind of makes sense.
Like, but what if you wore a bunch of gold?
Well, don't wear it on the inside.
Let's
Well,
ask
you know,
Mr.
like-
T.
Do what?
I said, let's ask Mr. T.
He probably does have some gold poisoning. There's a lot of gold chains and rings.
A lot of rings, too.
Earrings.
Yeah.
Did he have earrings?
I think so. That sounds right.
Right? I think he did.
He had a mohawk.
He did.
I wouldn't be surprised. He did have a mohawk. He still does. Probably.
I think it's funny that like these people trust these apothecaries. It's just like, hey, do you know how I can live forever? Yeah.
Drink this gold.
Drink this. I mean, like, what? Like, I don't know. Like, just, are you sure about this?
Well, and I wonder,
Yeah.
like, like, why? You know, of all the things you could pick, you're like, oh, like mercury. That'd be the thing. Like, why not olive oil, right? Or why not?
Well, they're
like,
just picking stuff at random. I think.
Right.
Like, it's just sort of, like, and they're probably under a lot of pressure. Probably looking at this the other way. It's probably like a king is like, if you don't figure out a way for me to live forever, I'm going to have you drawn and quartered.
right. And they probably knew that it would actually kill him, and they're like, oh, you should take the mercury.
Yeah, the mercury is definitely gonna work.
Yep.
Was it so much worse than drinking Mountain Dew? I got a feeling in
Yes,
like
yes,
100 years
mercury-
from now, they're going to be like, wow, those guys were drinking Diet Coke.
100 years from now,
Dew and
they're still going to say, drink Diet. If you have your choices are mercury and Diet Coke, go for the Diet Coke.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Coke will take rust off a nail, though.
it will.
Yeah.
And it will, won't it, like if you drop a tooth in there, which it'll eat up the tooth within 24 hours or something like that.
I didn't know that.
Well, Greg, you've broken your teeth a couple of times. What did you do with those teeth?
I did not drop them in.
Do you have any of them?
soda.
Let's try this out.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, I don't.
What?
that's a bummer.
I didn't keep them. I got new ones. I had to say goodbye. It was really hard. I don't like to talk about it.
So, Western alchemists, they also tried mercury as a elixir, but what they did was they tried to create something called the Philosopher's Stone, which was a mix of mercury and other things. And then you would take that, and the idea was that, again, it would make you immortal. And of course, handling that much mercury could be hazardous to an alchemist's health. For example, our good old pal and friend of the show, Sir Isaac Newton, He was deeply interested in creating the Philosopher's Stone, showed signs of mercury poisoning later in his life, and some of the signs of mercury poisoning are tremors, delusions, confusion, and severe insomnia. So, Greg,
So
I
pretty
know-
much how I live my life.
Right. I was about to say, Greg. I've been for years making fun of you because there's nothing wrong with you, but I actually think you have mercury poisoning. So,
Do you remember when we had those two guys from the Canadian podcast on Canadian Politics
Yes.
is Boring, and he talked
I
about
do.
his friend had a bucket of mercury in his garage?
Oh, that's right.
That's right. We did.
I just picture like an old wooden bucket, just like,
Just full, like,
With a hole in it.
yeah. Or maybe it was like, there was like a Home Depot bucket.
what do you? Yeah. Well, what is it? How many? So it's. What was it? 15 gallons of semen. What was that one? for?
That's right. The Home Depot bucket was semen. I forgot about that. It's a 5-gallon bucket.
Right. So, but it would, yeah, you wouldn't over a lifetime. You wouldn't quite fill up 3 of them. Right. I think. Was
I
the-
think that was
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Which
Good old
seems
trip down
remarkably
memory lane.
low.
So
Yeah, for those of you who are new to the show,
Go back and listen to the older episodes.
yeah.
we filled 5-gallon buckets of semen.
Yep. That's
Live.
we set a Guinness Book World Records of most dehydrated 3 old guys. So, on one podcast.
And
Very-
tired.
Tired. And
Super
imprisoned.
I don't know. I mean, I don't think we could go to prison. We have a warning on our like it is explicit, right?
Yeah,
We-
that
we have
is
warning.
explicit though.
Right.
I think YouTube might take that down.
And if they don't, that's not on us. That's on YouTube.
That is
right?
true.
Like,
that is
yeah.
YouTube's responsibility.
Yep, not mine.
Come on, Alphabet.
The elixir of life is guinea pig testicles. So
Okay.
Charles Edward Brown Sequard was a respected psychologist. You know it's right. Don't make fun of me for the way I said it, because you don't fucking know.
Sequad?
You don't know.
I don't know, but that doesn't sound right.
Sequard. He was a respected psychologist and neurologist, which I don't know, because again, this was like in the 1800s, so I don't know. Like, if you were a neurologist in the 1800s, it basically just meant you cut people's heads open. Because I don't feel like you're.
You probably just have to declare that you're a neurologist.
Right.
Neurologist.
He
I'm
just
a
had a
plumber.
business card made. He got one on Vistaprint.
I am a psychologist, neurologist, and spaceman. But he did something towards the end of his life that tarnished his scientific reputation. He started injecting himself with extracts from the testicles of guinea pigs and dogs, claiming that it was a rejuvenating substance.
He was injecting himself?
Yeah, so I guess he was. I didn't dig into it, but I mean, he was taking shit out of dog nuts, guinea pig nuts, with a needle, and then putting it in his body. Convinced that he discovered.
Fuck did he come up with that idea?
I mean, again, the same way you come up with mercury.
You know what? They smoked a lot of opium back then. So,
Dead,
you know, shit got weird.
man. They
The worst
smoke it.
thing I do is smoke weed and then I just eat a lot, you know, but never guinea pig testicles.
If you smoke weed, you'll probably be like, yeah, you know what I should do is inject those dog testicle fluid in my body. But then you never do because you're too lazy.
Because you're just
Right.
then I have to actually get up, and
Right.
that's not going to happen.
And you're like, ooh, cartoons are on, so I'll just watch those. No. So I was talking to Courtney, and I was just like, I'm kind of over like all the Marvel stuff, and it's just
Whoa,
like,
that's big news for John.
It's so played out, and she goes, yeah, because you're 48 years old. And I'm like, I don't think that has anything to do with it. Like, I'm not a mature person. It's just I'm literally just sick of it. Right? It's just
Well,
like
it
it's
was
like,
played out like 6 years ago, at
you
least.
shut your fucking mouth. You shut your dirty fucking mouth. So it's played out now. Now that
Okay.
I'm done with it, it's played
Okay,
out.
John makes the rules.
Yes. Convinced that he had discovered a bona fide fountain of youth, Brown Sequard gave his formula away for free to other scientists. Some people dubbed it a miracle substance, while others, a lot of other people got pretty sick from it. There was at least one recorded death from his elixir, although it's not clear if the fellow who died knew what his doctor was giving him. So, And the most,
What about
Yeah.
it was killing? Do they know what it was?
I think it was the dog and guinea pig testicles.
But I mean, like, what about that would kill him? You think? I mean, people eat bull testicles.
Right, but you don't inject them. It's the same, like you can die from injecting air into your body. So I
Yeah,
don't know.
well, that's true. Yeah.
Maybe it was an air bubble.
Yeah. Must been.
Yeah, or semen. I don't think semen's supposed to go into your bloodstream. So
What were the dogs doing? Like when this was happening? Like, why are you putting a needle in my balls?
I think Kevin nailed it. They were smoking opium.
Yeah.
so
I'm pretty sure
dogs were?
pretty sure he killed the dogs.
Yeah,
I would
probably.
guess.
probably.
Yeah, but you get more semen. If
I
you
don't
keep
think
the
it's
dog alive.
semen that he was after.
Well, that's what's in the balls.
Well, he could have
Well,
just
actually,
like
it's not.
he just
It's not
could have
seminal fluid.
whacked him off if he wanted the semen.
Right. It would just be like blood, or like tissue. I don't. Yeah.
I don't know.
We gotta get to the bottom of it.
Okay,
We gotta
this
get.
episode's changing. This whole podcast's about to change.
What's in a nut?
That's what it should be called. This podcast. What's in a nut?
The most famous user of this elixir was probably a guy named Pud Galvin.
Sounds
Okay,
about
that
right.
name's a little too on the nose.
Yeah, that's just too perfect.
Well, so you guys should. So he was a major league pitcher. A pitcher. So I guess this would have been like, it would have been 30s, 40s. So I guess this is like in the 20th century. So he was known for using performance-enhancing drugs, and Galvin claimed that the injections helped him play better, but they certainly don't make him immortal. He died at age 45 of what is known as brain semen.
Brain semen disease.
That's not true.
Not related to what he was doing.
Yeah, a totally different thing.
Just randomly.
He died in a gangbang. Okay, that's what he died in a gangbang. So
Worst ways to go.
Yeah,
it was
definitely.
it wasn't a talkie. So racing toward the cryonic future. So this is definitely very recent. There has been some debate as to whether terminally ill people who want their bodies cryonically frozen should be able to have themselves frozen pre-mortem. In the case of Donaldson versus Van de Kamp, Thomas A. Donaldson asked the California
Van de
courts
Kamp, like the fish guy?
Yep. Probably, maybe. Actually,
He wanted his body.
He wanted his body frozen.
Frozen in tartar sauce.
No, fish
He
water.
wanted his body breaded and then frozen.
Deep fried.
I wonder. I wonder if it is.
With a squirt of lemon.
So Donaldson asked the California courts to declare that he had a constitutional right to pre-mortem cryonic
To pre-die.
suspension. Well, but before everything could the case could be settled or whatever, he died in 2006.
That's bullshit.
Yeah.
Poor guy never got to live his dream.
Of being frozen to death or deep fried. Yeah, battered.
Deep fried, then frozen.
Yeah.
Then reheated.
It's Donald sticks.
It would suck if his instructions said to like put him in a convection oven and just put him in a microwave and they came out all soggy and warm.
It's like, I recommend putting me in the oven to reheat me, but, the microwave is an option.
His will is just like cooking instructions. Preheat oven to 450.
Well, and this was before air fryers, so like he'd be so excited to know the advancements in frying.
Yeah, I'm sure he would, John.
So, and then
He'd be shocked to find out he could be fried in air. Isn't it an air fryer? Who was telling me about this? That it's just a convection oven.
yeah, we were having this
else
conversation.
could
Yeah,
it
we
be?
were.
Yeah.
Yeah. John was upset about that.
Well, I wasn't. I was just saying it's so ridiculous to me how we just change words. It's the same. It's convection oven. It's the same goddamn thing. And all of a sudden, it's like, oh, it's an air fryer, and everybody's buying them. It's just like convections have been around.
Well,
They've
it's
been around for 30
smaller,
years.
right? So it's more concentrated, the heat.
I guess. But that's the thing too is you
Still same concept.
to air
Yeah.
fry it, you still got to put oil on it, right? So I don't get how it's healthier.
Well, it's not a deep fry. And if you spray Pam on it, it doesn't have the same calories. Plus, it won't stick.
How
Shut
do
up,
you
John.
know? How do you know?
I don't know, but I'm hungry.
Yeah.
I know I'm getting hungry too now.
I can
I
really
could sure
go
go for some of that guy that died.
His testicles. I want to eat his deep fried
Oh, you're disgusting.
Donaldson
That's
testicles.
terrible.
All right, so that was kind of like, so cryogenically frozen, fountain of youth, mercury, these are all things of the past. But human beings, it seems that we're constantly looking for immortality, right? So you have religion, and most religions have some form of immortality, either through you go to some place, good or bad, and you will live. So you either be tortured forever, or you get to live in some utopia forever.
Cloud.
We understand. We understand the concept.
Yeah. Well, or some religions believe that basically you're absorbed into the body of a god. So whatever god they're worshiping when you die.
What religion's that?
Well, so here's the thing. There's over 5,000 religions in the world, and a lot.
I thought you were just say Protestants.
Oddly, Jews. Yeah, the Jews believe you get absorbed into the
Cow balls.
I was going to say a matzo ball soup.
Matzo balls.
Yeah, that's what happens.
Isn't that the same thing? I thought that's what
why
matzo balls were.
The soup's
No.
so delicious.
Matzo balls are made of matzo meal.
Yeah, and they
Which is
go
made
in
from
the soup.
matzo.
Yeah,
They're good.
So they're
because
cow
it's-
balls.
No. There's no animal product in there at all.
They're
Not even the
Jerusalem-
testicles.
Israel oysters.
Shut up, Kevin. It took him 30 seconds to try and say
I
Israel.
know. I couldn't find it. I couldn't.
it was
find
worth it. It was worth the wait, though. I like that one.
That's embarrassing.
Then you have reincarnation, right? So you get absorbed, and then
Right.
there are some religions that actually believe, and this was crazy. I can't remember
You're
what it was
big on
called.
absorption right now.
Do what?
You're big on absorption right now.
I am. But there was like a religion in. There was like a Greek religion where they believed that, and this was crazy, that we were like made of small particles, and that those particles just went back out into the world, and like so it was like atoms. Like they had a concept or a theory about atoms. They didn't call them atoms, but anyway, I thought that was just kind of fascinating.
That is fascinating.
So
It's probably right.
so
I mean,
now,
it's the closest to now, right?
yeah.
I don't understand reincarnation too because no one knows if they're reincarnated.
Yeah,
Right.
so then it takes all the fun away.
But,
I mean, like, how does anyone know that it's real then? Because you have no proof of it. Oh, wait, it's religion.
Yeah, I'm like, wait a minute.
What's the point of being reincarnated if you have no memory of your past life?
Who have you been talking to that is in heaven?
Shirley MacLaine. Oh wait, she was.
You're
a
like,
reincarnation.
Shirley, stop calling here.
Raquel Welch died today.
That's sad.
Aw.
Yeah.
I liked her.
Yeah.
Know what I mean?
I do.
Yeah.
Yes.
She was a very attractive human. And that really is how do we measure the worth of a person? How attractive were they? So,
I mean, that's
That's
how
what I
measure
do.
the worth.
You don't have to talk to him. Just look from the outside package.
yep.
It's what's
so-
on the outside that counts.
Yeah, it's really true. That's the number one advantage you can have is being good looking. It's not being intelligent. It's not your race. It's actually being
White
good
and
looking.
male helps.
No, it's actually being good looking. It's not being white male. It's being a white good looking male.
Oh, so ugly white males don't have it good?
The ugly white
I've seen a
males
lot of ugly dudes, but
do not have
with
the advantage.
Pretty attractive partners.
Or in positions of power?
Right.
Right.
So your
Like, I
theory
mean-
sucks, John.
No, it does not. I stand by my theory. I mean, yes, there are outliers. Like
I don't think you thought it out too much in advance. It's okay. White men rule, buddy.
No matter what they look like.
You could be fucking ugly. Look at every sitcom from the 90s and 2000s. Every dude in there was super ugly, and every one of their partners was like hot.
Look at Congress.
Yeah, look at Congress.
not a real attractive bunch.
I'm really starting to question who I am and what I believe. All right, so you
Really
had all
trying
these.
to question this beard.
I don't know. Question on that beard. It's like I said. It's getting annoying, but I'm just gonna keep going until.
I think you were saying earlier that you had a problem when you're put on T-shirts because your beard. You have to flip your beard out.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a problem. It's not it's not like I have cancer, right?
It's
not
just
that.
another step in the morning.
But
Yeah,
you were
it's-
just saying that, so I'm wondering if maybe you should get all like V-cut shirts.
Oh, well, it'd be deep V.
Deep
You have to do
Vs? Yeah.
deep and wide V, right?
I mean, I
So we'd
you
see
know,
some cleavage too.
Yeah,
Well,
I
you
think the
wouldn't, 'cause
deep V is a good look.
my beard would block
That's
it.
a good point. His beard blocks his cleavage now.
Yeah. My fantastic titties. You cannot see them because of my beard.
You're really punishing us with that beard.
Courtney would agree with you. Courtney believes that I'm punishing her with this beard. So
God, I would love it if one night while you're sleeping, you're woken up by the sound of snip.
that'd be so sad.
What would you do? Would you like sue her?
I'd take her to beard court. So,
They've been waiting for this forever, man.
and the criminal justice system. There are crimes so heinous. Beard court.
Law and Order, facial hair.
Da, da, da.
Dun, dun.
Oh yeah. Da, da.
So basically, human beings before there was science, right? We had, in order to cope with death, right?
We had guesses.
religion, and then we had elixirs and magic or whatever, right? Yeah, and I really do believe that is what it is, right? It's like it's a way of because I don't want to die, right? And I know like I've had conversations with people. I mean.
I want
just
to
don't want-
eventually. I don't want to live forever. That sounds
I
awful.
don't. I don't want to live forever either. But I would love to get like 500 years. That'd be
Really? 500?
Yeah. Well, because
God, I feel old right now. I can't survive 450 years
No.
of being
I don't want to.
older.
I don't want to age at the rate I'm aging and be 500 years old and just be miserable for 420 years. I'm saying like I want to age slower, right? So right now I would be 48.
So it's a much, much slower, more painful death.
It's like the little baby Yoda. The little baby Yoda was 50, right? And he's still a little baby. So like that.
Spoiler alert.
Well, I mean, if
Well,
you
it's
don't
too
know
late
that,
now.
what is?
One for the spoiler alert,
All right.
and two for aging slowly.
I mean, I'm already there. But so yeah, when I was talking, like, you know, and people like that was one of the conversations when I was having like conversations with friends of mine who are religious. You know, they would be like, well, you know, what about when you die? I'm like, well, I mean, it sucks. You just die, and that's it. Like, I am now, and when I die, this is it. Like, I have no memory. I have nothing. It's just nothingness, right? There was nothing before I was born, and there's nothing after I die. And that's very sad.
It's bleak.
Right.
We've
Yeah.
talked about it on this podcast. It's
Yeah.
super bleak.
Super bleak, you know, but I do believe that. But I totally get, you know, why people are like, oh, I don't like that. What can we come up with where we don't have to face that,
Right.
And what's really fascinating is we've had all this stuff in the past, and now we have science, and we have a better understanding of the world, and not that science is always right, but it's it's the learning process, and so now you have scientists, and basically it's like talking about we can download our brains, right? That's the way we can be immortal, or we can, like we're mapping out the brain to figure it out. Or there's actually, I was just reading an article today that got published where there's a company in New Zealand, and they have a cancer medication that in rats they age slower, and it gives them 10% longer life on average. And so they haven't tested on humans yet, but because basically what it is, you have when your cells split, there's like a little tail on all your cells, and over time that tail gets shorter and shorter and shorter, and basically once that little tail's gone, that cell completely dies. And so that's basically like right now, all of us are in the process. We're at a point where our cells are now dying, right? They're still, but we have less cells than we did 10 years ago, right? Which is crazy.
Who's taking my fucking cells, John?
you are. You're fucking. They keep splitting in half.
I'm such
and so
a
that's,
dick.
So with medicine, what they're trying
I'm
to
such
do
a
is
self-hating dick.
I'm such.
with medicine, they're trying to figure out a way to stop that process from happening, stop the cells from splitting.
Okay,
And there's
okay.
there's a thing. So if the human lifespan continues to stretch, could we one day become immortal? The answer depends on what you think it means to be an immortal human.
Not dying.
Right. Right.
It's a good start.
But even with that medicine, so that's one of the things where it's like you're not immortal, it extends your life, but one of the things it does in extending your life is one of the side effects of the medication is that it decreases bone density. So you're more likely if it did work on humans, you would be more likely to break a bone, break a hip, so you're more likely to suffer in your longer life.
Sweet.
Right. But you get to live longer. So, but to get back, like the reason I want to live 500 years is I want to see what happens.
I don't.
Oh, okay.
It's because it's not going to be good.
But maybe it is. Maybe we turn a corner.
You could always jump off of something or another. Jump off a Zamboni. If you had to.
Well, but in the future there'll be no ice rinks because it's gonna be too hot.
I believe in air
And
conditioning.
if you're going to live for 500 years, I mean, does that no matter what?
Oh yeah, I don't want that. I don't want 500 years no
Like you
matter
can't
what.
check out even if you want to?
I mean,
I think you can check out.
well, yeah, no, I'm not saying I would be immortal. I would just be.
You
saying
could always
that-
get hit by a bus.
right. I would be I'd be like a turtle, one of those giant turtles that just live a long time.
So you'd live a really long time unless you got hit by a bus or
Yeah.
or something like that.
Or shot. Or
You would be
stabbed.
immune
People
from
live that
disease
long.
or what?
I mean,
People live that long. I think it
want
would make
rules.
accidents that much more tragic.
That's
well,
true.
do you know what the number one killer of human beings is?
Heart disease.
Old age.
Oh.
That's what kills more people than anything else. Old age.
That's it's generic.
Well, so when they talk about immortality,
Profound.
that's actually when science is talking about immortality. What they're actually talking about, they're not talking about making you bulletproof. They're basically saying, so the number one killer of human beings is age. So if we can stop that, then we stop most people from dying. There's still going to be people who die. So you wouldn't be immortal in this, like you wouldn't be invincible. You would just be you would live a long time.
I always thought the number one killer of people is Justin Bieber.
He's the number one reason people kill themselves.
Oh, Jesus.
That's
More so than Dave Matthews.
too far.
That's a combined effort. So in this scenario, I have a question. So with the
I always like how we start asking questions like, I fucking know.
well, no, I have a theoretical question because you're saying that what they're basically doing is they're making it so when the cells split that they don't lose their tails as quick, right? Is that kind of what we're getting at here?
Well, basically, what you're doing is you're slowing down the process of the cells actually splitting.
Okay, so you're slowing down the process of
Yeah.
of the cells splitting.
Right.
So is that slowing down the entire aging process? The graying, the fatigue,
Yes.
the
Yeah, all of
crankiness,
it.
all that
All of
stuff?
it.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I could
Okay.
use
Right.
less gray.
Okay.
So basically, I mean, and it's all just like it's theoretical, right? Like, well, I mean,
Yeah.
this one company, like they've added 10% to mice. So what do they do with that? So they're on, it's like they're on the right track. But
10% isn't that much. by
no,
the way.
it's but if you're going to live to 80 and now you're going to live to 88, or if you're going to live to 100 now you're living to 110, and again, it all depends on the
Guy is good with math.
quality of life.
Hang on a
right?
second. I'm going to pull up my calculator.
But wait, what was the question, Kevin?
I'm just curious, like, is if it slows the entire aging process.
Oh, right,
it doesn't
right.
just make you live longer with the same, like
Right.
problems. I guess,
right.
is what
Right.
I'm getting
Well,
at.
right. It's, right. And so what you would do is, you wouldn't start taking it at 10, right? You would be like, you would wait until you get to an age where you're like, oh, okay, I'm 30 years old, so I really want to start slowing it down now, right? Or I'm 25.
Yeah, you don't want to slow it down at like 6.
No. Or like, can you imagine being like being a teenager for 40 years?
Oh, that sounds awful.
Oh God, you'd be so moody.
What about brain? Like, do you know? I don't know if you know this, but does it slow down? Like, because I mean, brain development is a thing. I mean, think about this. How much you're smarter now than you were when you were 30. But is that just because of life experience, or is that because you've aged physically?
Do you think you're smarter? And I'm not being a dick, like because
No,
because,
I do. Yes, I mean,
Well, I
I'm
don't-
certainly more wise. I certainly
Well, yeah.
understand more.
like you have more experience.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I actually don't know. So okay. So there's this. This is a quote. So I don't think when people are even asking about immortality, they really mean true immortality, unless they believe in something like a soul. Susan Schneider, a philosopher and founding director of the Center for the Future Mind at Florida Atlantic University. That's a fucking mouthful.
That's a really long title.
If someone was, say, to upgrade their brain and body to live a really long time, they would still not be able to live beyond the end of the universe, which I thought was very fascinating, because that's also a thing about all scientists believe that the universe is going to end, right? It's billions of years out, but even if you're able to, you would still have an end date, right? You will not live for an eternity because the universe itself will end. So
How do you know by then we won't figure out a way to get out of this universe and go to another universe?
I don't. I don't know anything.
Can you imagine living for a billion years? Oh my
I copied and pasted and then cut stuff down. Like, I don't want people to think that I don't know. I don't know.
No one does think you know.
No
I'm
one
just kind of
thinks you
bringing
know,
up stuff.
I know.
Oh, it's weird. John's got all the questions that no one's ever been able to answer. Good job, John.
Yep.
Boy, he did a lot of research for this episode.
So many humans grow old and die. To live indefinitely, we would need to stop the body from aging. A group of animals may have already solved this problem, so it isn't far-fetched as it sounds.
Is it the turtles?
No, it's not. There's something called a hydra, and they're these small jellyfish-like creatures. So they don't have a vertebrate, and they're a vertebrae, and they're what they do is they're made up of stem cells that are constantly divided to make new cells. And as their old cells are discarded, the constant influx of new cells allows Hydra to rejuvenate themselves and stay forever young. So they could literally live for thousands of years if they don't get eaten. You know, because again, it's only with aging. They can still get eaten by something, or they can still,
Right.
get freeze to death or boil or whatever.
Thanks for the examples.
Just
Hydra show that animals do not have to grow old, but that doesn't mean humans could replicate their rejuvenating habits. So at 0.4 inches long, Hydra are small and don't have organs. It's impossible for us because our bodies are super complex and we have billions of cells that are constantly dividing and dying. Right. So, and then that kind of goes back to what you're asking, Kevin. So it's like, if we were to stop the cells from splitting, how would that affect how we learn? Right. And you may have the
what
problem.
all does it affect?
Right. Like you may even have the problem of, because part of the reason, maybe you end up with like your blood gets so thick you die because your heart can't pump it, or it's like there's like a million things that could happen because your body is a system that is supposed to,
It has an expiration date.
Yeah. Yep. Humans may be able to live beyond their biological limits with future technology advances involving nanotechnology. This is the manipulation of materials on a nanoscale, less than 100 nanometers or 400 billionths of an inch, about the size of Greg's penis. Boom, 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 boom. Penis joke at Greg's expense.
Yeah, it was a good one.
Yeah. I had to get it in there before anyone else put it on me. So, self-preservation.
It was a self-preservation joke.
Yeah. Machines this small could travel in the blood and possibly prevent aging by repairing the damaged cells experienced over time. Nanotech could also cure certain diseases, including some types of cancer, by removing cancer cells from the body, according to the University of Melbourne in Australia. And finally, like the new frontier is, again, like with AI. We were talking about, earlier we were talking about AI and GPT and all that stuff, right? But that's one of the things where if AI, we're trying to map out the brain, but it's going to take us decades. And if we get AI involved, we may actually be able to map out the brain very quickly. And if we can map out they're already in roundworms, they're able to scan a roundworm's brain and reproduce its behavior in a robot and a program. But the roundworm has about 302 neurons, and we have a billion or 10 billion.
304?
Yeah, billions. Yeah, right. So so it's like, but the point is that they've started, right? They've actually started the process of cheating death by being able to map out the brain. And so if you could download your brain, you wouldn't like have a body, but you actually would. You're like who you are. And it's all theoretical, because could you live on? Like, what makes Kevin Kevin? Do you have a soul? What is consciousness? All that kind of shit, right? But as far as the actual, like, memories and shit like that, eventually they will be able to scan your brain and download that, so you'll be this program.
Stephen King was right.
He always is.
He always is.
So you could have like in your music library, I could have like also just Greg's thoughts.
It's on Spotify.
randomly pop up and tell me how much he hates Dave Matthews.
While you're listening to Dave Matthews.
Yeah. It's like, whoa, what'd you? He's like, I hate this song. I'm like, shut up, Greg. I'm listening to fucking Dave Matthews. I'm driving to work. I didn't need to hear your shit right now.
God, I'm already dead. You're driving to work still. So,
So anyway, that's I'm sorry. Here's the one example of human beings actually. I mean, human beings have cheated death in a lot of ways. But I read this, and I don't remember this happening, but this happened like early 2000s. So Sabina de la Mar, Dominican Republic. So there was a ship that left, like a group of 16 people left the Dominican Republic, going to trying to get to Puerto Rico, right? Because the conditions were so bad. And so they got lost, and so their throats were so dry that some could only spit blood. They could barely talk, and that's when one passenger on the journey to Puerto Rico, Faustina Mercedes, now called Little Angel of the Sea, gave a unique gift. She shared the breast milk once reserved for her 1-year-old daughter back home. So she left her daughter at home, and she was in this boat with 15 other people. They ran out of water, ran out of food, and she was praying to God, and God told her to let everyone have breast milk. So she actually, every day for 12 days, everybody on the boat would suckle on this lady's breast for like 20 seconds, and that is what kept them alive until they were able, and actually the current took them back to the Dominican Republic, and they were able to paddle back in and get out of the boat. But they survived for 16 days at sea, 12 days of those on breast milk. So 16 of them cheated death. Because without her, they would have all dehydrated. They all would have died.
And cheated on their spouses. Because
oh, really? Kevin, that's what you're thinking of? You son of a bitch. You would have sucked that titty.
I think you get a pass. Right? It's like, yeah.
I probably would have, Greg, for that survival. I wouldn't have been like, nope, Sheena wouldn't like this.
Yeah.
She'd rather
Miss,
I die.
Put your breast away. I'm offended.
What does Mike Pence do in that
22
situation?
seconds.
Mike Pence is fucked.
Well, no, he would just, yeah. He would. Oh, and then also there was a half-rotted orange that was like floating in the ocean that they found, and they all split the orange. Like, could you? Oh God, that would suck so bad.
Yeah, John. It would suck.
Well, that's the thing is like and we've talked about this. You know, like Greg was saying, like I don't want to live. I don't want to be in the apocalypse. I don't want to survive it. Right? I want to die.
But you want to
quick.
live for 500 years. The apocalypse is coming before that.
I want to live
You'll have a
500
couple
years.
of apocalypses.
I want to live 500.
Apocalyptic.
Apocalypse.
I want to live 500 years and like in this, right? Like this is nice. Keep living like this.
Really?
This is
Yeah.
fantastic.
This.
Yeah.
Everything's going really well right now.
I mean, for me, it's going
For
fantastic.
you, yes. For you, yes. In your bubble, it's pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, it is. It is pretty good in my bubble. So, so basically, that's it. That's all of it. And so we're just gonna kind of toast that. Here's human beings. We have not figured that shit out yet, but we're gonna
I'm
keep
the only
on
one
trying.
actually drinking alcohol. But yes, we're gonna keep on trying. You think we're gonna keep on trying?
Oh, yeah. But I think that's with it went from religion and elixirs to now technology is going to make us immortal, right? So we're always going to have that dream or be looking for that way to live forever, I think. So in that sense, we're just going to keep defeating ourselves.
I've seen Lawnmower Man, John. I get it.
Cheers, guys.
All right. Thanks, everyone, for listening. Thanks, John. That was a lot of fun. Greg, go finish the move. Moving.
Will do.
All right.
All right, guys.
See you guys next time.